in the winter, it's a little harder to maintain that passion for detailing. Today, we're going to go into strategies on how to keep your detailing hobby alive, even though it's minus 20 outside.
As a detailing hobbyist or enthusiast, winter can be a really frustrating time.
Hi, I'm Ivan.
I'm Nick.
And this is the DIY Detail Podcast. Today, we're going to go into strategies on how to keep your detailing hobby alive, even though it's minus 20 outside.
Now, it may be minus 20 by you. We haven't seen a lot of snow just yet in Utah as of the time of recording. And I happen to have moved from an apartment into a place with a garage. So I'm actually like having the best winter of my detailing life in terms of just enjoying it. I'm like, I got an air compressor set up. Life is good. I remember what it's like to not have anything, Ivan.
Right.
And it can get frustrating. And one tip is you can run your car with the heat on and you can still do the interior. Even if it's hard to detail without it running water, you can still do an interior detail by leveraging heat. That's one small tip. It's just the start, Ivan. What else did you have in mind?
Well, detailing is a hobby for a lot of us. It's a passion for many of us as well.
Yep.
And it's something that we enjoy doing. So in the winter, if you are in the north where there's snow, etc., those of you down in Florida and California and all that, where it's perpetual sunshine, enjoy. You're lucky. Those of us that have to deal with snow, we have Mother Nature really beating down on us this time of year. And there are things we can do that we can maintain our detailing hobby. And like you mentioned, one of them is keep the interior of your car clean. And by keeping it clean, it's more fun to drive. Your vehicle is just a happier place. And it's something you can do, like Nick said, start the car up, let it run, and put the heat on. Detail that way. And conversely, in the summer, for those of you down south where it's 110 degrees in the shade, you can, if your car has air conditioning, you can run the air conditioning and keep the inside of the vehicle cool as you're detailing it. Now, there are times when, yes, you're going to have to open the door to vacuum the floor, etc. But for the dash, everywhere you can get with the doors closed, you can do it. So that maintains that freshly detailed appearance inside your car, makes your car more fun to drive, and that helps maintain the passion for detailing. One thing to be very careful of, though, do not introduce moisture into a car when it's cold outside, because you're going to get ice forming on the inside of the windows, not just the outside.
Yeah, it's hard to get the moisture to go away when you don't have really hot sunshine helping you to dry it all out. And even then, I did a video for Nick and I over on the Thor YouTube channel, the House of Rags. Yeah. And I used a little Bissell spot clean extractor. Little did I really know, I was like, I'm going to stand up for the extractor. Little did I know that cheap piece of something, it's really good at like shooting the water in, not as good at like sucking the water out. So I just like flooded the interior. A good extractor will pull up a lot of that, with nice suction. It will leave a lot too, but I had no air movers and I was like, it's a hot summer day, it'll be fine. And I mean, I was worried about mold getting in there. So do be cognizant of what you put on an interior. You got to take out. Now, maybe people don't know this about me. We have a big audience. Some follow my journey and yours. Some are just so casual. But I moved from an apartment, and anyway, so I had to. I wanted my deposit back. And what I found was a lot of my detailing tools, because we're transitioning out of detailing weather in a lot of places, or have transitioned. A lot of detailing tools and skill sets applied in the cleanup of the apartment. Okay, so I was polishing countertops with the gold standard polish. I was putting swabs of the gold standard compound on a microfiber to like clean up a bathtub that I didn't know how to do anything with. I had to repaint a room with a lot of wall issues, and it turns out I had never really painted before in my life. The meticulous nature of applying and leveling coatings really came in handy as a painter, and I was given great compliments on my painting job, and I had no idea what I was doing. But as detailers, we're very meticulous.
Yes.
I'm slow, Ivan, but I can get the job done if it just takes me 10 hours instead of 2. And I found that it was frustratingly difficult, but also kind of rewarding to apply the detailing skills that we all have.
Yeah, 100%. We like detailing. When's the last time you detailed your kitchen? And that is something that as a detailer can be very satisfying to detail your kitchen. Your cabinets, your countertops, etc. You can clean them, you can coat them, depending on what surfaces you're dealing with. But a lot of times your cabinet faces, you can coat. Your bathroom is another one. Yes, you can detail your bathroom. That porcelain bowl you sit on a regular basis. Drain the water out of it and coat the inside of it. You'll be amazed how much cleaner it stays and how much easier it is to clean. Your shower, your bathtub, whatever. Those, get in there with some water spot remover and a bit of agitation in your wash brushes, et cetera, and you'll be amazed at the difference you can make in the quality of your life inside your home. And it's still detailing. Yes, it's not a car, but it's still detailing.
I didn't know what I was polishing it on, Ivan, but water spot remover didn't do much. It was 5 years of accumulated gunk on the shower. It was gold standard compound, wool pad, and I brightened these. I mean, again, who knows what the surfaces were? It's been 5 years.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it looked great. To the average eye, it looked great. So it's just kind of fun to like play the chemist and the magician. Like, what do I need? It's approaching this and trying a certain method. Okay, that's not working. Let me up it. I just didn't think I would need the gold standard compound as much as I did in that bathroom.
Yeah.
But the person who moved in said, "Oh wow, this was a very well maintained apartment." And I was like, "You have no idea. It was a very well detailed apartment. All right, like days of work. All right, I got my deposit back. I'm not gonna lie. I'm very proud of myself."
Right. Now, the other thing is, as detailers, this hobby, and a lot of the people that watch us are hobbyist detailers, a lot of professionals as well. But in the winter, it's a little harder to maintain that passion for detailing. One is go all in on education. So the time you would have spent detailing, watch a YouTube video on detailing. Organize your products. Go through your products and say, okay, in the last 6 months, have I used this product? Is it useful to me? Because a lot of us will buy a product, we'll try it once, and it doesn't satisfy our needs, or we go on to something else and it just sits on the shelf. This is the time when you can go on Marketplace and sell them. You can give them away to someone who's starting to detail. All sorts of things that you can do. So organize your products, inspect your towels, make sure your towels are ready for the next, good day of weather, that you can get out there and detail your car. Organize your tools, maintain your tools. So if you have a pressure washer, if it's an oiled pump, now's the time to change the oil. With your polishers, it's time to change the grease. It's time to, clean and polish and coat your polishers. There's a lot of things we can do that don't involve a vehicle that we can detail. And, getting everything ready. Mise en place is something that we talk about frequently on this channel. It's getting everything ready so the next time you detail, it's more fun, it's easier. If you're in a garage and your garage isn't heated, you can rent a heater, but not to detail a car. Spend a weekend detailing your garage. Spend a weekend saying, okay, how can I make this more efficient? How can I make this easier to use? And, doing a pressure washer setup. So if you watch the Cars with Keys channel, or I Am Josh V, they both have great ideas on setting up a pressure washer. You could make a detailing cart. Keeve actually has a video on a detailing cart that the pressure washer, the reel, everything is built into the cart. We have a video on our detailing carts as well, a little more simple, but nonetheless, you can have fun doing that. You're still, you're still playing with your detailing hobby with the chemicals and all that. But at the same time, the next detailing season that rolls around, you'll be a lot more prepared and you'll have a lot more fun doing it.
And when you came to my new garage, new to me, I asked you, what's your advice to the enthusiasts out there? And you're like, just get started. You don't have to do it all today, but by getting started, you create a little momentum and you stop the overthinking. You just do something.
Yeah, just get out there and do it. Adding lights. There's not a shop I've been into where I've gone, wow, there's too many lights here. It just doesn't happen. So you can add more lights. You can save up, and winter season is here. There's sometimes specials, sales, etc. that happen. If you've never gotten a compressor and you're looking at a compressor, now might be the time to find one. Or the thrill of the hunt. So going on Marketplace, going on eBay, going on Craigslist, and finding the tools you don't have. You may not have the money for a new pressure washer or a new compressor, but you might be able to find one that is a lower cost, still a good quality product that you can buy because someone traded up or just got out of the hobby or just doesn't like that tool. So,
what about if you're a professional and you're in the bleak midwinter and you're questioning whether you can survive?
That is when you double down on SEO. That is when you double down on advertising. That is when you get things rolling, get things ready for spring. In the winter, we had our employees repaint our shop every winter because we wanted it in the spring to be clean and fresh. We, did all the maintenance that was required to all our tools, the pressure washers, the compressors, all of that fun stuff during the winter. Because during the summer, when, February, March, April hits, you don't have time to do any of that anymore. So now's the time. And as a detailer, especially if you're in a northern climate where winter slows you down, you should have prepared for winter financially as well. Meaning that that times are going to be a little slower in the winter. It's just part of life. So
It
with
is,
that,
right? Like, it's psychologically, though, it still gets you.
yeah. But for us, January was a month that we lost money every year. We never made money in January. But we were prepared for it. We knew that was going to happen. That's just part of life when you're living in Quebec. That people are not getting their cars detailed as much in January as they are in June. So in June, when you're making a surplus of money, put a little bit away for January and you'll be fine. Those are things that, as a professional detailer, the winter is when you actually have the time to breathe. As an entrepreneur, during the summer, you're just running. You're doing your best to keep up. During the winter, you can sit back, relax, and look at what your business is. Set up your SOPs. Go over your SOPs if you have them. If you don't have an SOP, now's the time to write them. There are a lot of things we can do. Like I said, maintaining, painting the walls, organizing, cleaning up. As a hobbyist as well, those detailing chemicals, those tools that you haven't used in a year, find a way to get them to someone else that will use them, whether it's selling them, whether it's giving them away, etc. Another thing is, many of us that don't have a garage generally might have a friend or a family member that does. So this is when you can get someone else into the hobby by saying, look, I'd really like to use your garage to detail my car, but if you help me, I'll actually we'll detail both of our cars together. So now you bring your chemicals over, you bring the stuff that you need, and then you can do it together and you can teach someone else how to detail. And teaching someone to detail is probably the best way to learn how to detail.
And I think it's hard as you get older, male friends. I don't know, people are married. So it's like, if you want to hang out like with another friend, it's usually because there's something in common to do. And so I have a lot of really good guy friends who we detail together, or we're friends because of detailing. So it's like, if we have a car to detail together, that's a reason for it gives us a third party to like do things, it's kind of hard to explain. But when you have a thing that gives you an excuse to hang out, I know when you're a kid, it's like, let's just hang out, whatever. And I think life gets busy enough. You have to have a reason, these days. Anyway, does that make any sense?
Yeah.
So it's a good reason to like, it helps you foster friendships.
It definitely does. And, it's a good couples event as well. But in the case of a couple, if you don't have a garage, probably your significant other doesn't have one either. So that makes it a little more difficult. But yes, so preparing for spring, getting everything ready, finding ways to detail. There are a lot of things we can do that, we mentioned detailing the interior of your house. There are a lot of things as a detailer you can do, even though it's cold and bitter outside. And there are winter days, and be prepared for them. And this is where mise en place comes into place. Have a kit ready to go by the door. I say figuratively, but by the door, ready to go, that the day that it gets above freezing and it's sunny outside and, the snow is melting in the driveway, etc., you can go out and wash your car that day. That's where rinseless wash comes in. Get some rinseless in a sprayer, go out, have it pre-treated at the coin op or at the touch-free car wash to get all the heavy stuff off, then bring it back home and detail it in the driveway in the sun. A nice January day where it's just slightly above freezing, but the sun is warm and you feel it warming up your bones. That's when you go out and do that. So have a kit ready to go for that day, because you can't plan for it. It's very, very hard to plan for winter weather. But at the same time, you can have that kit ready that today's the day, and go out there and do it. So,
and surprisingly, it does warm up no matter what cold climate you're in. Maybe in Quebec it doesn't ever get like that, but here you'll have a surprisingly like, wow, it's actually pretty nice out today, and it's
Yeah,
December, and so
right.
it does happen. You'll get the brief respite, and then the snow comes again.
Yes. But in that meantime, that's the time to do it. And there are a lot of, like I mentioned, the maintenance of tools. If you're into, if you have multiple polishers, learn how to take your polisher apart, learn how to grease it, learn how to change the brushes. These are all easy things to do. And once you learn how to do them, again, you're getting yourself ready for spring. And getting yourself ready for spring is an important part of detailing. It's getting everything ready to go. And also, we had sales throughout the winter, and we continue to have sales, and so do a lot of different websites. If you're wanting to try a new product, now might be the time to buy it. That way in the spring, you're not waiting for it to arrive. It's arrived. It's already there. And that first nice day, you can get out and use that product instead of that first nice day going, oh, I need to order this. Have it in place. Have it ready to go.
Right. And spring will come. And you'll wish you took advantage of the sales, right? Because things get slow for the brands as well, because it's winter time, right? So you offer sales sometimes when things get a little slow, and so it's like that spring's going to come, and then there won't be sales for a while,
Right.
So it's like now might be the time to take advantage of that. So if you haven't done that yet, just keep an eye out for the sales. They're real, they're legit, they won't last forever. And we often put products that we still do really love on sale, Ivan. It's not just let's try to put this product on sale because no one's buying it.
No, we have staff to pay, we have a warehouse to pay, etc. So sometimes we need to, put things on sale to get the ball moving a little bit. And it's the same thing with the professional detailer. You can run winter specific sales that help keep your clientele there, that help things moving, that help keep everything going the way it should. And when you do that, you maintain your client base. They're not looking for someone else, and reaching out to your customers and saying, we have an interior midwinter refresh package where you'll do a wash, clean, seal on the outside and a vacuum and wipe down on the interior. Those are things that your customers appreciate. Those are things as a detailer, they're not as profitable as a coating, but at the same time, it's keeping people, keeping yourself in front of people, getting the awareness there, etc. So as a entrepreneur, this is the time of year where you have to make yourself seen. People in the summer will look for you. Now you have to be looking for people.
This is a fun little podcast, Ivan. We've never done this before. If folks have more questions, I would suggest they go to our DIY Detail Facebook page. What is it? Almost 60,000 members strong now.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as a dumb question. There's a few questions we ask to make sure you're not a bot or something. We'll let you in, and then you can kind of take advantage of this sort of group, intelligence, which is like, I ask the question, I get a bunch of answers, and then I can kind of proceed from there. It's not just Nick or Ivan. It's like, well, what's working for you in this part of the country doing your business, or you're a hobbyist and you've tried this 7 different sprayers, and it's just a nice group of people and a lot of people to learn from.
Yeah, and I like to say that our group has a lot of AI, actual intelligence, not artificial intelligence. So our group is, powered by AI, actual intelligence. No, that little bot that asks questions, we deleted that from the group. When they offered it to us, we never took it. I don't like those things, but we have a lot of great people in that group that are more than willing to answer your questions. And just because someone has more or less experience than you doesn't mean they don't have the right answer. Someone who started detailing yesterday might be the best person in the group to answer a specific question. And someone that's been detailing for 50 years may not be the best person to answer a question, or they may be. And we have that spectrum. We have that spectrum of, people in their teens to people in their, 70s and 80s in the group, and everything in between. So we have a lot of experience in the group and a lot of friendly people.
Is there a winter detailing video where you actually wash a car that you think folks might want to watch at this point? They like the podcast every Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern, but now they're ready for some of that detailing education I haven't talked about?
Yeah, right there.